Hey guys, it's Crystal, your friendly OwlCrate customer service person. I'm here to do the mid-year book freakout tag. This was designed by Chammy and Ellie Jane, and we'll leave information to their channels down below. There's a lot to get through, so let's just do it. So the first question is the best book you've read so far in 2018, and I had a small pool of books to choose from, but I still couldn't decide between Ace of Shades and Sky in the Deep. They were both so incredible. I couldn't put either of them down. Their characters were great. The world building was great. So I just really couldn't decide which one and thought I'd share them both. So the second question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2018. And I looked back at my reading challenge and I didn't read very many sequels. So I chose Gemina. I listened to this audiobook earlier this year and it was really great. I actually like the characters in this one more than Illuminae. I can't get into it too much because it may be a spoiler for anyone who hasn't read them, but if you're looking to dive into the series, I definitely recommend the audiobooks because they're just fully cast and absolutely incredible. So the next one is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and for me that's Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. This one is actually a follow-up to Love and Gelato. Not a direct sequel, but it does include a character that we've met before, and this one, instead of Italy, takes place in Ireland. I picked this up the day it came out, but it just keeps getting backburnered and pushed aside, and I just really can't wait to get to it. I think it's just going to be so beautiful and perfect summer romance. So next up is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for me that's Peter Robinson's Careless Love. It's the 25th Inspector Banks novel, so I'm really excited to get to this, and it comes out on July 26th. And he's an author that I love to read every single time a new book comes out, but they're never really on my radar, but I know this one comes out soon and I really can't wait to pick it up. So number 5 is my biggest disappointment, and for me that was 99 Days by Katie Cotugno. I really wanted to like this book. I love contemporary romance and I thought it would be a lot of fun, but I just didn't care about these characters at all. It seemed like a really, fun situation, a summer job type deal, but they're just a bunch of cheaters and I didn't like them, and I'm really sorry to anybody who has, but it's just not what I was expecting to be, so I was a little let down. So next up is my biggest surprise, and for me that is The Furthest Station by Ben Aaronovitch. This is book 5.5 in his Rivers of London series, which I absolutely love. I was just waiting for my friend downtown and happened to be at the library, so I just kind of walked in, saw it, and it was a literal surprise. I was like, oh, a new book. So I just picked it up, immediately checked it out, and started reading while I waited. And it was like a nice little story to draw me back into the world, and now I'm just itching for more. So next up is favorite new author, be it new to you or a debut author, and for me that was Beth Revis. Earlier this year I listened to all 3 audiobooks for her Across the Universe series, and I just really enjoyed them, so wanted to read more of her stuff. And I did get the opportunity to read Give the Dark My Love, which comes out in September. And again, I really enjoyed her writing and the characters and the world building, so I definitely want to read more of her stuff. Next up at number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush, and for me that was Fisk from Sky in the Deep. I just loved him. He was cute and broody and quiet and just, in the end, extremely loyal and a great friend. And I loved him. If you haven't read this book, you need to, even if it's just to appreciate his greatness. So next up is newest favorite character, and for me that was Charlotte Bronte in My Plain Jane. She's definitely not the main focus of the story, but she joins Jane along this strange little adventure, and she's constantly taking little notes in her notebook. She's basically writing the story of a Jane Eyre romance, which we obviously know exists. Charlotte is just this great scene-stealing sidekick kind of character. She's so funny and so quirky, and I fell in love with her right away. I was like, Jane, you do what you like. I'm gonna hang out with Charlotte. She's just incredible, and I absolutely loved her, and she's the one that stuck with me the most. Next up is a book that made you cry, and I'm definitely a softie, so it doesn't really take that much to get me to shed a few tears. But one morning a few weeks ago, I read Bob, just sitting on the couch, and I couldn't put it down. It was just so beautiful, and the ending is just so sweet. It's a great little fairy tale friendship story about Bob, a little creature who thinks he's a zombie and wears a little chicken suit, but it's just such a sweet childhood memory kind of story, and it was just beautiful and all the tears. Next up is a book that made you happy, and for me a lot of books make me happy. I really enjoyed My Plain Jane and Sky in the Deep, but the thing that I enjoyed most recently was listening to the audiobook of Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. It was the BBC radio collection version with David Tennant as Benedict, and it's just my favorite story, and just revisiting it with such great voices and such great characters just made me so happy, just walking around the house listening to a great story. So next is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year, and for me that's Tess of the Road. Every time I went into this bookstore, I just loved this cover, and finally one day I was just like, I have to bring it home. It's just too pretty to leave there all by itself. I love the artwork and the colors, and like the matte finish paper is really nice. Don't really know what it's about. Fantasy story about a girl, some dragons, no idea, but it's very, very pretty, and I'm gonna read it anyway. So next up is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for me, I have a few books that I've been backburnering for so long. One I've even started, but just didn't get around to finishing for various reasons. So for me, the books that I need to read are Our Dark Duet, One Dark Throne, and The Knowing. I've had Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab on my shelf forever. And I loved this world she created, I love the characters, so I'm finishing this before the end of the year. One Dark Throne is the follow-up to Three Dark Crowns. I really love that story again, and I bought this basically the day it came out, and it's just been sitting, waiting, and definitely needs my attention. And then there's The Knowing by Sharon Cameron. I really loved The Forgetting. I actually started this book, got 6 or 7 chapters in, but just got busy. I really loved where it was going, the world seemed really cool, and I was starting to like the characters. So I'm definitely going to pick this up soon, get it done, and enjoy myself. So last but not least is my favorite book community member. I know a lot of the other girls on the team work with a lot of reps and have a lot of favorite YouTubers and things like that, but for me, I've just made a lot of friends in the book community, and I think Instagram is such a great place to meet people. So my favorite book community person is Audrey at Adelanna's Imaginary World. She's definitely my best buddy reading book buddy, and it's really great to be friends with someone who lives all the way on the other side of the world in Japan. And it's just, the book community just brings people together, and buddy reading is like my new favorite thing. So if you haven't checked out her account, you definitely should. We'll leave a little link down below. I really love her stuff, and she's such a great girl. So that was my mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed it. We still have Sally's coming up later this week, so be sure to check that one out as well. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome. Bye!